What should you get? Cockatiel or budgies? Can you keep them in the same cage?
Cockatiel and budgie are the most comely parrot species of Australia. They have many common characteristics as well as multiple differences. Both of them are social, active, and playful. They can enjoy their little cages with no issues. An experienced bird owner almost always knows which among both he wants. But for a newbie, it's hard to decide which one will prove to be his best companion, a cockatiel or a budgie. Cockatiel grows more in height and tail. He is a large-sized parrot and may grow up to 12 to 13 inches. On the other side, the cute little budgie is smaller in size. A budgie won't need a spacious cage. He can maintain himself in a small space. Budgies usually grow up to 6 to 8 inches. Obviously, we're not favoring budgie. If you are looking for a bigger bird, cockatiel is your perfect fit. If you want a little pet, go with a budgie. Talking about the appearance, the feathers of a budgie are unimaginably beautiful. His feathers may vary in colors from sky blue to lime green. Cockatiels, being a true member of the cockatoo family, has one of the most prominent crests. This attribute makes him look cute and stand out in a flock. Cockatiels are gray most of the time. They have yellow speckles on their faces and tails, and white flashes on both wings. They look the cutest with those orange circles around their ears. Quite a burst of colors. Choose the one that mesmerizes you. Personalities of cockatiel and budgie. Talking about the individual personalities of these two affectionate birds, they both own different personalities. Budgie is always full of energy and playfulness, whereas a cockatiel will be down sooner and hence less playful than a budgie. You may see a budgie prone to flying here and there and simply indulging in fun activities, while on the other hand, a cockatiel will only vocalize in the daytime and spend the rest of his time quietly looking at things around. So, for your need of having a vibrant bird around, get a budgie. They won't disappoint you. If you want a quiet companion who will not seem to annoy you at your lows, you must adopt a cockatiel. For the youngsters, a budgie will be a great mate. He'll keep you busy in playful activities throughout the day owing to his playful nature. A quick reminder for beginners is that budgies vocalize a lot. So, if the noise concerns you, it is better to choose a cockatiel over budgies. A relatively quiet cockatiel makes a great mate for the elderly too. When it comes to diet, both cockatiel and budgie follow a similar diet. Both of them have hooked beaks, so undoubtedly they are adept at cracking seeds. Specialized bird foods are also necessary for them. They are intolerant to artificial additives and excessive fats. Do not let a store-bought bird food harm your baby parrot. Parrots are great pets for urban dwellers that have busy lives since they do not demand much maintenance and adapt quickly to their owner's routine. Keep their food bowls filled and offer them fresh water, and they are ready to love you back. These two cute parrots love treats. Occasional treats bring instant happiness for them. Both budgie and cockatiel are desert-adapted birds. This makes it clear that both can survive or even enjoy in less than an ideal situation. Coming to lodging, both of them vocalize in the daytime and fall silent by the night. So, if you happen to stay in an apartment, you can choose any of them. Even though cockatiel doesn't vocalize as much as budgies, yet budgies are not as loud to trouble your neighbors. Some interesting facts. Both budgie and cockatiel are generally curious in nature. This makes them an ideal choice for learning pets. Teaching becomes easy and enjoyable with these supportive mates. A male budgie or cockatiel is talented with entertaining talking tricks, but the female ones are often shy. Besides being adorable, they are very adaptive. They will easily blend and adjust to your home. The two birds are native to a completely different continent. This has resulted in their mutations of color and the ability to absorb the local climate and helped them become hardy. Both Budgie and Cockatiel will love to explore their new home. You may often find them playing with new toys and chewing on different things. They majorly chew on over-bright materials. They both will express their emotions either by vocalizing, chattering, or screeching. Both of them are capable of interacting with human beings. They learn too fast. After knowing a little bit about both these beautiful creatures, it might have become easier for you to make up your mind for which one to adopt. But don't forget to consider the facts in hindsight too. The facts like how much you have set aside to bring your feathered friend home. Peacefully coexisting for thousands of years and housing them together would save you some cash. But is it safe? Should you just start putting them together and observe? Are there some rules of engagement? Well, today we're going to answer these and other questions about this tricky situation. Since budgies and cockatiels are both sociable birds, they usually get along well. However, this isn't a guarantee. There is always a risk that they will hate each other, fight, and seriously hurt each other. This is mainly because, unlike in the wild, a cage is quite space-constrictive, making clashing more likely. Space aside, the personalities of the birds are a good determinant of whether they will get along or not. For instance, an easygoing cockatiel would get along well with a budgie who likes to take on leadership roles. On the other hand, when both the budgie and cockatiel are dominant, chaos is imminent. Ultimately, the more tolerant both birds are, the higher the chances of peaceful coexistence and even friendship. If you want to increase the chances of your budgie and cockatiel getting along, you need to introduce them properly. You can't just wake up one day and add a new bird to the cage. The older resident may view the new bird as an intruder and a threat, creating a basis for conflict. So, to ensure the introduction goes smoothly, make use of neutral space. To start off, you can get each bird a different cage, put them next to each other, and observe them. Afterward, you can have them play together outside their cages and see how it goes. If you don't have enough space for them to play, you can get a third bigger cage where they can have their play dates. Don't rush them though. Let them have several play dates a week for around 3 weeks before you think of settling them into a shared cage. The more play dates they have, the more they get to know each other, and the more you get to see if they're a good fit. If they play well together, sing and chatter together, and are affectionate towards each other, it is okay for them to share a cage. However, this is not where your work ends. To confirm that their relationship hasn't gone south, you still have to supervise and check in on them regularly in the first few weeks after the move. Check for signs of intimidation, injuries, and bloodstains, and always have a spare cage on hand. Since budgies and cockatiels have similar dietary requirements, they can eat a lot of the same food. In fact, they eat the same vegetables, fruits, and treats. The main differences in their diets appear when it comes to seed mixes and pellets. First of all, budgies can't eat large seeds or pellets. So, if you're planning to feed them anything that is meant for cockatiels, you are going to have to get rid of the larger pieces and observe them as they eat, just in case they have any trouble chewing. Secondly, since budgies are smaller than cockatiels, their seed mixes usually have lower concentrations of sunflower and other oily seeds. So, to keep your budgie healthy, you shouldn't regularly feed them seed mixes marketed for cockatiels. Once in a while is fine though. Can budgies and cockatiels share their toys? Yes, budgies and cockatiels can share toys. This is particularly common if they have built a rapport and like playing with each other. Such birds can even share perches and other cage equipment without conflict. Who is more jealous? Both budgies and cockatiels get jealous. However, since cockatiels require more affection and attention from their owners than budgies, the latter are more likely to get jealous if you have both birds in a cage. This may result in your budgie lashing out at you and/or the cockatiel. On the other hand, a cockatiel who is used to getting all your attention can attack a new budgie. Ultimately, you're going to have to find a way to strike a balance between the attention you give each bird. Are cockatiels louder than budgies? When compared to other birds of the parrot family, both budgies and cockatiels are quiet. But when compared to each other, cockatiels are usually quieter and calmer. Budgies are very active and chirp a lot. As such, budgies are usually recommended for younger people, while cockatiels are more suited for older people. Don't be fooled though. If their lives depended on it, cockatiels could be much louder than budgies, particularly due to their large size. Also, keep in mind that male budgies and cockatiels tend to be more vocal than their female counterparts. If you have decided to keep your cockatiel and budgie in the same cage, you're going to have to do much more than conduct a killer introduction and observe them. If you notice that one of the birds is eating too little of its own food or too much of the other bird's food, you may have to feed them separately or at different times of the day until you figure things out. When setting up the cage for the two birds, incorporate hiding places like dome-shaped toys and small hollow logs where a bird can go when they feel intimidated or need some alone time. This is particularly helpful to budgies because they are smaller than cockatiels and can easily be intimidated. To avoid fights, have at least 2 spacious perches in the cage, one at each end. This prevents overcrowding. No matter how friendly your birds are, they're always one change away from a major conflict. All it takes is a moody or hormonal bird to set things in motion. So, if you're not ready to do any conflict resolution, you should keep these birds separate. Watch next, previous video, or how to make birdcage. Visit our official webpage for more information and budgie care.